Hey everyone, I'm Scott Stokely, and I'm sitting up straight because I was just informed that when I slouch, my gut sticks out. How rude, 9 o'clock in the morning. I am here with Jacob Neff, the proprietor, the creator, the founder, the ultimate authoritarian dictator. If you don't count as the person really in charge.
Yeah, good dictator.
A
Nice
good dictator. Uh, Jacob Neff, he has created this beautiful disc golf masterpiece out here in Cambodia, disc golf. I'll put a link below. I did a video with Derek Robbins where we walked around the facility so you can see some of the holes and some of the terrain. This video is going to be just talking because we're going to hear your story of how this all came to be, because before you, there were how many disc golf courses in Cambodia?
Zero.
Zero. He is the first. He is the Cambodian Ed Hedrick. Thank you so much for this incredible experience. So I'll let you do the talking. How did this all come about?
How did this come about?
And by the way better monetization for me if you don't skip over the cool side stories to the whole thing.
Oh,
So
yeah.
go ahead and tell the story. Like let's hear what happened, because
I think I could go back real far, but there was one significant event where I did a front flip 180 followed by a bunch of barrel rolls in a 96 Saturn. And
I didn't know about any of this.
it was a big deal. I had just moved to Big Sur, California. I lived in Huntington Beach, from Michigan originally, young, not sure what to do. Someone said, you want to go move to California? So I did. But I didn't love it in Huntington Beach after a while, so I moved to Big Sur and lived in a van down by the river for a while. It was great. But I was just like kind of trying to live on the edge and just be free and enjoy my youth. And so I went to Yosemite, I met this girl and kind of went on this trip with her, and then on my way back.
Wait a second. You know, at least 7 of your stories started with "I met this girl."
Yeah.
That's the recurring theme.
Well, yes, yeah, it's probably true. But on the way back, I got into a crazy car accident, and I remember the whole thing. I didn't get knocked out or anything, but I thought I was going to die the whole time. You know, it's like, oh, I'm dead, I'm dead, I'm dead, I'm dead. Here it comes, here it comes, here it comes. And then the car came to rest upside down, and I eventually crawled my way out, and it just had a huge impact on me. It definitely, I mean, just so many cliches of it made me want to live for today and not just waste my time with some kind of career or doing something typical. You know, it kind of like charged me up to think, like, if someone has a cool opportunity or something cool, I'm going to do it, because that was close. Like, I could feel death. It was a lot closer than I thought it was. So then eventually somebody invited me to Thailand. I learned Thai and was really into it. Started a gym in Thailand, like personal trainer type gym in Bangkok. And then after that didn't work out, I was still in Asia, but kind of burned out on Thailand. And I had been to Myanmar and different places, but I never came to Cambodia. And there's Angkor Wat. I mean, it's like I knew I needed to come here, but I eventually came. And then on our 7th out of 8 days, we went out and partied for the first time because we were so tired from seeing Angkor Wat. So then I met Bon on that night, and we were about to leave. I was literally just telling my buddy how lame this place was, and we were gonna get going. And then Bon walked in, and it was like there was a spotlight on her. I mean, literally, it was just like, damn, look at that girl, holy cow. And so my buddy basically convinced me that I had to go talk to her, and so I did. So then we partied all night, and her and I stayed in touch. I came back and visited a few times, went back to the US, came back a year later, and then her and I went on a trip around Cambodia. She owned an Italian restaurant. We worked there for a bit, and then I showed her around Thailand. She had never left her country before. And so we ended up conceiving and making a baby. So it was like, all right, here we go. This is exciting and a lot more committed than my previous adventures to Asia. So through that process, it became clear that like getting the getting the visa to the U.S., just getting her paperwork correct to be able to submit to the U.S. government, because everything was in kind of shambles here in the 80s and 90s, so a lot of misspellings and stuff. So in that time, I went to a tournament in Thailand, and then became kind of obsessed with the idea of Cambodia. There's opportunity here, because obviously disc golf's growing. I mean, around the world, but in Thailand it was growing. People were putting more courses, and I could kind of see it for what it was, is with, you know, the potential for another stop or another attraction to Southeast Asia with disc golf. And being here with Angkor Wat, it only made sense. And we were gonna buy land anyway and build a house. So then we went on this, we drove all over the countryside here. I mean, 2 hours out from Siem Reap to like trying to do one downtown, which is insane and basically impossible. And then we finally looked at this land, and there's this group of woods you guys have probably seen back here, where it's just like, it's like it was made for a disc golf course. I mean,
Yeah.
the way these pockets of land are, with like, it's already lined up. So then
So the possibility of disc golf played a huge part in the land you bought?
Oh, it was, yeah.
Oh, that was the primary thing.
It was like, I don't know if say 50-50, because we were gonna buy land and make a house anyway, because this was clearly gonna take a while for this process. We might just live here, who knows? But it was like, okay, I'm gonna buy land for a place to make a house and a business and create the first disc golf course. So it was like, we were gonna buy one anyway, but where we bought it and all that was determined by disc golf. Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so that's the next life lesson for all of you. Make all of the decisions for you and your spouse based on disc golf. That's basically, I'm reading between the lines, but that's what I hear.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go.
If Bond knew we were
Key
going to
good relationship.
If Bond knew we were going to Koh Samui to go play disc golf, she wouldn't have wanted to go. So we were just going for the nice beaches. Is what
Second
what
lesson.
I told her.
So the second lesson, when you build your life around disc golf, lie to your partner. There you go. I mean, my audience is learning so much from you, from your
It's
wisdom.
going well, right?
I know. Are you going to get in trouble later?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
It'll be fine.
So you found
We'll
this
see.
land here, but here's the, I mean, I've learned so much about this. How big is your actual piece of land that you own?
It's about 0.4 acres.
0.4 acres. But gee, Jacob, 0.4 acres isn't large enough for a disc golf course. However, could you put a disc golf course on 0.4 acres?
You just play corner to corner. Just joking. No.
Yeah, there's two holes. Corner to corner, corner to corner. Actually, technically, it could be a few more than that, but
Yeah, different tee pads.
yeah, no, this is something that is one of the most unique things I've ever heard in disc golf. When I learned that you didn't own the land the course is on, so please share that. It's fascinating.
So yeah, the first thing was we got, getting baskets made was tricky. Ended up finding this crazy guy from New Zealand to do it. But first it was, it's already a very communal country. Everybody here has been growing rice forever, but they don't own all the land. Just even the rice growing in general is like this. But if we've had old ladies come into our yard and just start cutting lemongrass that we planted X amount years ago. Oh, I need some lemongrass. She doesn't even ask. She just does it, and I'm like, whoa, what are you doing? And then Jacob, it's okay. She needs some lemongrass. So everybody
shared.
very shared experience out here. And then obviously I'm the
Well,
alien landing.
Well, you explained to me when we went for a walk around the property. There was a rice paddy, with a rice field, and you said, yeah, the person that's growing that rice probably doesn't own that land. So my first thought is that the landowner that must be leasing it to them for a percentage of it, and that's not the way it works.
Yeah, sometimes there's deals like that, and sometimes it's, they
not-
grew rice there before I owned it, so why would I? You don't want to hurt somebody's livelihood or anything. So
It's life or death.
Yeah.
But for hundreds of years they've been growing rice. So once you buy the property, you don't stop the family from growing rice on your property, especially if you're not using it.
Yeah, if you're gonna build a house or develop it, like this dirt over here, is kind of like they started doing that. So sure, you do what you got to do with your land, but if you just bought it and you own it, you're not gonna chase everybody off and say stop growing rice. I mean, rice is beautiful too.
Yeah. So
So that for us it was like, okay, we got to tread lightly to start, get to know people. So we got 2 baskets, 3 baskets, 4
well,
baskets.
how did people respond to you as far as the white dude? Because we're like when you go to the cities, like especially the tourist towns, there's plenty of white people and Westerners. I call them whiteys, but Westerners and,
Yeah,
and
barang,
Barang.
barang,
But
Frenchies.
when you get out to the country here, no more white people. Like
Yeah,
these are
they're
Cambodians.
yeah.
How did they respond to you moving in? Was it like
I
was it
would
like a news like was it like local news within the community, the village,
I
or
think it was definitely, probably a big deal more than I will ever know because I don't speak Khmer well. But I think one thing, the main thing is Bon and Pick and the Cambodian family is they're the greatest gift for me is that they're really nice people in to other Cambodian people also, and so that's my biggest advantage is that they're friendly and everybody loves them and like we're part of the community now, but even from the start, they make it easy because they're good people. And then the other thing is,
okay, that's great.
we start putting one basket out. Oh, just hot paran, exercise, playing. People start looking at it. We've had reports of grandmas and grandpas poking at the basket when they first showed up. Like, what is that? A couple times people took some chains off it. Not, you get your thieving every once in a while, but they just didn't know what it was. So they were like, oh, it's just a gift from the gods or
I
something.
could use this chain,
Yeah, and then
this communal
and then
chain.
just kind of more and more put a couple more baskets out. Hey,
Well, by the way, in all
hey, is
fairness,
it
the
okay?
basket's on their land.
Yeah.
So
And then kind of like, hey, is this okay if we put this here? Like you need a beer, you and kind of make friends and just make more and more friends. There's a few people we do pay every once in a while, and it's not really a contractual thing. It's just like, hey, how's it going? Here's $10, give you some blessings. And some people just every time we see them, we give them some beers or invite them over, eat food, and so most of it's just being really friendly and nice. And then I think the other thing is that I am I'm not good at speaking Khmer, the local language, but I'm good at trying to speak the local language and being shameless. And I think that helps people like me a lot. Showing like, hey, this guy's trying. Like he just said, well, there's a really funny story about that, but he just said the most horrible thing. We know he's not trying to say that, but it's hilarious. So and just if you put
No.
yourself out there and you let your heart go, like everybody can see that. Like your intentions are good. You guys are just throwing these silly things and
Is this-
having a good old time.
Real
And-
quick, is the story from the tournament this weekend?
Yes.
Okay, so stick around to the end of the video because
say the
yeah,
story.
it doesn't fit in right now, but this is actually probably the best thing that happened all tournament. Was that you that actually said it?
Yes. Yes.
Oh my gosh, this is amazing. Are you all gonna love this?
Yes.
All right, so you're putting the baskets on, you're building a course, you designed it yourself,
Yeah.
and you're putting the baskets on people's property with their permission, and gradually putting more holes in. When did people start playing it? Like, did the kids and locals start playing it first, or was it people coming to visit because you were on UDisc, or like, when did people besides you start playing?
Yeah. So first, besides me, it was just mainly Pick, and we had another cousin here. A couple of the family members. I
By
would,
the way, Pig's good.
Yeah, he can, and he didn't even flash his real game this week. I think he was nervous because
He's good.
he can win the doubles almost every week if he has a good week. But yeah, the first was just them like, all right, Jacob's trying to get us to play this crazy game. We'll go out and do it with it. And then eventually I kind of jumped the gun. I had like 3 or 4 baskets, but I thought the guy making them was going to be done with the rest soon. Ended up taking like a year to get 10 baskets. Just that's a long story, but yeah. So then I think I made a Reddit post, a Facebook page, and whatever, like all at once, and we only had 3 baskets. And then like 2 guys from town showed up. Just one guy was an American, one guy's English. The English guy never played it, never heard of it, but the American guy was previously obsessed with it before when he lived in the U.S. So they showed up, and then it kind of was like, oh, people will show up. This is amazing. And so that put the fire under my ass, and I just kind of went from there. And then more baskets, and probably for the first year was different tee positions, move the baskets, different tee positions. We'd have a weekly, and like 6 people would come out, like mostly locals that have never played, expats mostly. And then slowly and slowly built, and then we built this place as the disc golf went. So when the first people showed up,
Cool.
we had no pro shop. We didn't have a building. These huts that we're in
Yeah,
right
by
now
the way,
weren't here.
there's a pro shop here now.
Yeah, we got a nice little selection going too.
No, you got good selection.
Biggest
of discs
selection in
and drinks and
Cambodia.
food. That's by far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I got a lot more in the back too. So I got stock.
So you have, okay, so the course is going in, the baskets are popping up. The kids
Yeah, the kids are key.
are insane, like in the best possible way, because, well, first off, some of the baskets are on their parents' property,
Yeah.
but the kids have like taken to this game to a point where this morning we woke up, we're having breakfast at the pro shop, 5 or 6 kids come by,
Yeah.
and they don't have their own discs.
Yeah, not yet. Some of them do, but yeah.
And how much do you charge them to use discs?
Nothing.
I know, that was a rhetorical question.
Yeah.
So the kids show up, they go into the bin, each of the kids grabs 2 or 3 discs, and they walk up to you, and Mr. Eric, 3.
Jacob.
And they, did I say Eric?
Yeah. Sorry, Eric's sleeping.
Oh, I meant Mr.
Jacob.
Jacob.
Jacob, 2 discs. Jacob, 3 discs.
Yeah, how many they took. And they're out there right now playing the course. Like, it's become a game that the kids in the community play, just like volleyball and football and whatever game they make up.
And next Sunday, we're having a kids tournament. And so we've been telling them for maybe 6 weeks now. And the closer we're getting to the tournament, and actually the Khmer Cup, I think, was huge for them to see that, how fun that tournament was. And they know they have one next week. So they're practicing. They're getting ready for the tournament.
They're getting ready to compete.
Yeah, so they're all going to get at least a disc to play, and then prizes. And we're gonna score it. We're gonna make it easy course for them. But like, I think because they play a lot, but they don't play a game. They just like, look at it. Hey, watch this. Look how far I can throw.
Right.
And so this will be their first time like competing, which I think for me anyway, that elevated my addiction to disc golf massively. So.
Yeah. Well, and so the thing that, I share this on all the videos about disc golf in these developing countries is that a new golf disc, by the time you pay shipping and customs, their parents would have to work about 30 hours to buy the kid one disc.
Yeah.
It's just not going to happen.
Yeah. Even if it's a very low end disc or something, then at least a full day's work.
25 hours. Or
yeah,
20
at least a
hours.
full day's work of doing something concrete or something rough.
Yeah, so
for one of the worst discs you can afford. So
yeah, so that's a big challenge with developing countries, which I'll make all sorts of videos. So we're working on something.
yeah,
But at the tournament this weekend, I made an arrangement with Gateway. I sent Gateway my prize money, and Gateway is filling up a container full of discs and products so all the kids in the neighborhood can have discs.
yeah.
So-
And another guy at my really poor attempt at an awards ceremony gave his entire bag.
Donated his entire bag after the tournament.
And these weren't discs that were
No,
just
they were-
brand new.
they
It was
were-
like his bag. Like I know there's not.
There was a Nate Sexton Firebird in the bag. So the kids need it more than me.
Yeah. I
It's
mean,
the
you can
player
tell
in the
these,
tournament.
he's used
Inspired.
to those discs. That was his bag for
Yeah.
a while, and he just gave them all away.
So now these
It was
kids are
crazy.
playing, but for now they're and they said there's no real sense of, you've tried giving them discs and there's no sense of ownership because they share everything.
Yeah, a lot of times they come back to the yard or I don't know what happened to them all. So this time I'm definitely going to give them a marker once they get the disc at
Right.
the same time. And actually recently though they started seeming to have their own disc. I think they're just starting to understand the sport of it, not just like, hey, watch this and throw a disc.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right, so now you got the course in the ground, but part of the course is a business, right? I mean, not that you're making money off the disc golf so much, it's just it's your whole operation.
Yeah.
So tell me about the facility the course exists on, because people are, I mean, disc golf's a very popular sport. The percentage of people in the West that play disc golf now is like, it's a measurable amount of people. The percentage of people that visit Angkor Wat or Angkor is thousands of people every day.
Oh yeah.
So between those two things, there's now, I don't know, 40 or 80 disc golfers, people that play disc golf every single day showing up in Siem Reap.
Right.
you have something here. So tell me about your whole facility. It's not just disc golf.
Yeah, so disc golf's essentially like the passion thing, and we're attempting to make it as a method to bring people to our business. One attraction to, hey, come out here. So we have we've got a bar, restaurant, pro shop. We've also got homestays, so 2 bungalows, which
we stayed in.
They're built in the old Cambodian style. They're built out of wood, which you don't find too many houses built out of wood anymore. And then in the inside, they're made like a hotel room.
No,
So
king
real
size
nice.
bed,
Yeah.
TV with Netflix.
Nice. The Netflix was already in there.
Oh, I
ready to
I
go?
didn't turn it on, but I thought
I thought it
saw
was too, but sometimes
No, everything. No, but we stayed. We're like I was a princess. We stayed in one of the bungalows. Derek Robbins was stayed in the other one. But I mean, it's very, very comfortable living. Like you get the Cambodian experience because you're definitely out in the country.
Yeah.
There's free range chickens running around.
Yeah.
Like we had dinner a couple days ago at a place where we ate a chicken that was running around their property earlier that day.
Yeah.
Not in a pen because it's a chicken farm. It was just, oh, no one owns that chicken, and then it was dinner.
Yeah.
So this is real Cambodia out here, but you also get the bungalows give you the comfort of a clean bed, a king size bed, a comfortable mattress.
Yeah. Well, it's like I was saying about
It
when
gives, it's you get both.
when you go out to Bond's family's house, what I was saying, I feel overwhelmed sometimes, and because while we're only 7 kilometers from Pub Street, maybe 10 from Angkor Wat, so 20 minutes, so we're in the real countryside, but we've got these little comforts of home, and if you need to go and eat a cheeseburger, we're not too far from that, so that's a nice feature. But like, yeah, sometimes if you don't have those, we're in a different generation here in Cambodia. It's not the same pace and levels of comfort that we're used to, so it's really nice to have these bungalows.
Yeah, by the way, the restaurant and bar, this is what, anytime you get out to the country in any of these Southeast Asian countries, at least the ones we've been to, all a restaurant means, like, it's not a building with like, the Applebee's logo on top or something. A restaurant means is that we have a list of things that we're willing to cook for you for this amount of money.
Yeah, and yeah.
Bond cooks, does the cooking.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
Bond's going to do the cooking. The bar there's some bottles in the pro shop.
Yeah, and we got all the beers
Yeah.
you need and mixers and things like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
So
Yep.
it's like but that's Cambodian.
Yeah, and it's really nice. In Cambodia, you open a business and then you go buy liquor bottles and put them on a shelf.
That's your liquor license.
Yeah. You go do it.
By the way, one of the great businesses here. So every every 10th house out in the country is a store, and every other one of those is also a restaurant.
Yeah, if you see a red cooler, it's
a store.
place to stop. And
So
get
people,
some
they
beverages.
go to like the grocery store in town, and they just stock up on stuff and bring it out to the country, and they sell it for they mark it up like 20 cents over what it costs at the store,
Yep.
because you can't get to the town so easily. So if you want to get a Coke or lotion or baby wipes or shampoo or
Some
whatever,
whatever you need.
medicine, there's pharmacies out here, but they're in people's garages. And then same thing, like I said, the restaurants, that's exactly what the restaurants are. It's like you're getting a home cooked meal, but they charge you the exorbitant price of $1.50. That's actually expensive for out here.
Yeah, oh man,
You can get a
some
great
of the
meal for $1.
some of the breakfasts around here are 75 cents.
Yes.
The really good breakfasts are like, wow.
So, this is important because, like, when you come out here, you get the experience. This is not the Holiday Inn, and I mean that in a good way. Why would you want to come to Cambodia and stay at Holiday Inn?
Yeah.
Like, you get, like, right now we're sitting in this bungalow. There's hammocks here. No, this is the bungalows where we sleep. This is called
I don't know the technical name for this, but yeah, this is a thing in Cambodia.
Video studio.
Yeah, it's a video studio. They have restaurants like this where it's a raised up platform, hammocks, little table, or maybe not in the middle.
Yeah, a couple days ago we went out to this village where we sat at a restaurant. They bring you your food. That's where we ate the chicken that they murdered like 2 hours before, and we ate the food, and then we all got into hammocks and took a nap at our table. Like, the hammocks are there to take a nap out, because after you eat you want to take a nap.
Yeah.
Of course you need a hammock next to your table. Duh.
Yeah, it's the greatest.
especially at like 2 in the afternoon. It's kind of hot.
Yeah. Between that and the manual bidets, they're just light years ahead of the United States in comfort.
Yeah, these are the bum guns.
The bum gun.
Called the bum guns. Yeah, so they're just you're not going to find toilet paper, which seems like a bad thing until you actually get a high pressure garden hose.
Yeah.
And you're like, it's better.
Yeah, and you get in the groove and you remember to bring tissues, and then you're good. And they're just for drying, because you're already clean.
Yeah, it's Cambodia is the real deal. This is not the West with a different language, the way like a European country might be. It is completely unique. So the kids are playing disc golf out here. What about the adults? Do they play?
Yeah, will say it's hard to get adults to play, and so that's why the kids are so cool, because they're gonna grow up with it. But there's definitely some adults to play. Brother-in-laws are getting pretty good. And then a lot of times the people who come and play, there's some other expats that'll bring their friends, and we've got a few Cambodians that'll come from that. But honestly, the most experience and exposure to Cambodians is the tuk-tuk drivers, I would say.
Really?
Yeah, because people come out, they have a tuk-tuk driver, he's just going to sit here and wait for him for 4 hours, and half the people invite him, or whatever happens, I'll invite him and be like, hey, you want to play with us? Give him a couple discs. And
by the way, the tuk-tuks are just these little miniature, like, carts that might be pulled by a scooter, or they're self-contained, but they're just like imagine you were at Disneyland and you're catching a ride from one end of the park to the other because you work in maintenance.
Yeah.
You would that little tiny little cart or something like that is what you take around.
Yep.
But they go all the way through town and through cities with it, because I found out that petrol's not the same as gasoline. Petrol is? Mm-hmm. Okay, sorry, petrol's the I don't know.
Propane.
Propane, but they use propane out here, which I'm like so ignorant. I didn't realize vehicles ran on propane.
Oh yeah,
but it's less expensive.
LPG they call it.
Yeah, so it becomes a less expensive mode of transportation.
Yeah, it lasts a lot longer. Like they can run for 500-600 miles on a fill.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
So anyway, so when the drivers bring people out, everything is so affordable in Cambodia that if you take a tuk-tuk from town out here, you'll almost certainly, if you were going to play around at disc golf, you would just pay your driver to hang out for like 3 hours. Yeah. By the way, the drivers don't care. The drivers like, that's
almost
cool.
Don't even charge more. It's just part of the. Sometimes they will, but a lot of times it's just like, oh, you're going to give me $10? Yeah, whenever. Let me know when we're leaving.
Yeah, and they'll hang out all day. Well, you've got to remember, you lay concrete for 8 hours to make $8.
Yeah, so
a $10 ride that takes 4 hours is a great pay out here. I mean, everything's so affordable. So you're saying the drivers get to go play though? Yeah, and they are. They have a knack for it. It's crazy how good they get. Like in one round, by the end, they're better than some of our locals have been playing for 5 or 6 years. Do they ever come back on their own and play?
A few of them will. It's usually like someone will have the same tuk-tuk driver, and they'll come back. And we've had a few guys that. I mean, even the guy the other day, he won doubles and then he immediately bought a disc. So I think there's like hope that they're going to come back more than quite them coming back so much yet. But I'm definitely, it's one of my aspirations that I'm working on. And I mean, just even being a country coordinator and stuff, it's part of my, I guess, position, and I've set myself up, and that's a huge goal, is to get more Cambodian people to play.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing, even though a disc is $20 or whatever to get, and some people can't afford it, but disc golf is still an affordable sport compared to golf. I mean, golf here, it's $180 a round, and then there's clubs and all that, whereas disc golf, so if we start getting the discs into their hands, we find cheaper ways of manufacturing them more locally, different kinds of things, then I think it's a great sport for Cambodia. I mean, and even with our greens fees and everything, I go under the guise or the premise of, in the US where I'm from, disc golf is cheap or free. If it's free, you probably got to pay $5 to get in the park or something, but it's not expensive, and I hope to keep it that way. And in some ways, I'm responsible for the culture of this country, or at least starting the direction
of
it.
Great way to put it.
So it's $2 to play if you're resident. It doesn't matter, Cambodian or a foreigner. If you live here, it's $2, and if you don't live here, it's $3.
Yeah, and
so I try to keep it cheap.
It makes sense to charge something because people do assign more value to things when they have to pay for it, even if it's reasonable.
Yeah.
$2 for a day's golf. It's still good.
And it's all day. It's not per round, so you can come out. You don't even, you bring your own water, whatever. You can play all day.
If
for
someone
2
came
hours.
without money, would you ever turn them away?
No, if they're Cambodian, they're gonna every time if it's a foreigner and they just forgot their wallet or something, yeah, I'd probably be fine.
Yeah.
You know, it's never really happened. But Cambodian, you know, eventually sure charge something if they can afford it. But like all our neighbors, the people in the yard, or not in the yard, in the
All the kids.
their yard, the course being in there, they're
Well, we play.
here. Go, please enjoy.
We play around out here. Every time we play, all the neighbors come like outside of their houses and like cheer for us.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, here's the thing I noticed about Cambodia. I've yet to smile or wave at a person that hasn't smiled and waved back.
Yeah, I noticed that in your video with Derek. I mean, I've noticed it in my life, but I was watching that video.
Oh, when I was
like
walking
every
down-
single person.
They all,
I'm on a motorcycle, but I gotta.
they're all, but it's genuine. You can
Yeah.
tell it's warm. All right, so you run tournaments out here. You ran the Khmer Cup. You also ran another tournament. What's the other tournament?
A holiday in Cambodia. Yeah,
I know.
yeah. So the holiday in Cambodia is a tournament. It was our second tournament we ever did, back right before COVID and February 2020, and so we got approved or you know, just go down to the local temple and say, hey, can we do this? And they don't mind.
Well, what? So what's
And-
What's not interesting, but what is
Special about this.
what's special about this temple?
So yeah, so
This, by the way, this is the temple that the disc golf course winds in and around.
yeah, it starts throwing from the elevated moat walls.
Yeah, I saw that.
And then it wraps around the property, and then the final basket is right next to the temple, which it's what's special about this temple. It's called Wat Chede or Chedi, like English. A Chedi is like a, I don't know what you call it, like a pagoda for death. It's a tombstone for a monk or a significant Buddhist character, and it has an ancient Chedi in it, and then it had modern, maybe 100 years old or something, more modern Buddhist temple built in it. And then during the Khmer Rouge, when they got a hold of the country, their goal was to get back to year zero. So they were killing anyone with glasses or spoke a different language or any kind of unique feature that might question the government. And they also kind of, I guess, tried to get rid of religion. And so at this temple, which is only 2 kilometers away, 1.5 miles, they burned down the temple and then assassinated 64 monks there. And so the remnants of the temple are still there. There's concrete walls, the wood top and everything's gone. And then there's bullet holes you can tell throughout the concrete where it impacted in. And so it's just like a horrible, horrible thing. And then now, I mean, we're only 45 years later, and somebody built another temple next to it as to commemorate it because it was so important for this person. And then,
But there's still monks out there.
yeah,
So what did the
and
monks?
now it's an active temple again.
Yeah,
so it's amazing.
So how did the Buddhist monks feel about you setting up baskets at their temple?
Yeah, they like to take selfies with us. No, they're good. There's definitely, there's monks out there. It's an active temple, and it's got lore in Cambodia, so it's a special place.
It's a special place, but
So-
they're if I'm not mistaken, they're also looking forward, not backwards.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Nobody
And-
wants to talk about
And
that.
so we get out there, we get out of the back of the truck. This is a temple where 64 monks were assassinated in my lifetime. I was alive when this happened.
Yeah.
I wasn't even a baby. I was 10 years old when this happened.
Yeah.
And we get out of the truck that we were pulling, and we set up a basket at the temple. And the response from the monks is, "Oh, you're gonna play disc golf?
Yeah, and we had
Great."
it's been 3 years or whatever since we did our last tournament, and
They were excited to see us playing disc golf at their religious temple.
yeah.
It's the most.
Even I was surprised, or not surprised, but pleased, because I don't know, when we did that
amazing.
last tournament, people say, "Oh, everything's good," but through translation and poor English and poor Khmer skills. So I'm like, maybe they hated us. I don't know, but they were smiling. And then so just 3 years show up later
They recognize
with a basket.
They recognize the sport. They recognize the basket, and we're happy to see
and
it.
he goes, "Oh, you're gonna play? You're setting up to play?"
No, look, those weren't fake smiles.
Yeah, yeah.
No, absolutely not. I don't speak the language, but I speak smile.
Yeah, and so that's really awesome, because we're doing another one this year, so it's, I guess, the quad-annual or something, or I don't know how that word is. Every 4 years or 3 years is how at our pace.
It's called the Disc Golf Olympics.
It's the disc golf Olympics. So it's just
the World Cup. No, the Disc Golf World Cup. That's even better.
Yeah. So we just do a easy fun C tier 2 days, and the first day's at Wat Today. So we throw from the temple down and then around. It's just the coolest thing ever. And then the second day comes here to our course that we have. So it's called A Holiday in Cambodia, named after the Dead Kennedys song, which was kind of a protest song, or I don't know, protest, but awareness song about the atrocities that happened in Cambodia. Yeah. So like the song is about what happened at that temple essentially. And so just when I think originally was thinking, oh, we got to do a tournament at a temple, an Angkor Wat temple or something like that. And then said, wait, there's a temple right here, and it's got this crazy story. It's incredibly unique. And then I don't know, Holiday in Cambodia, it's just too perfect.
It is
to give it that name.
So the tournament here is extremely unique. It's a PDGA tournament. We followed all the rules, scoring, rules in the book. But there's an entirely different set of expectations because it is a unique setting.
Yeah.
There are kids everywhere, all over the course, which they're fantastic. They'll go into the water to get your disc.
Yeah.
They'll go into the weeds where the cobras are. There's cobras. They'll climb trees. But when you're playing the tournament, they're not standing behind you quietly. These aren't the kids that work at Wimbledon.
Yeah, well, there's also people.
No, they're just this. By the way, this is their land. They're not required to like not run around and have fun.
Yeah.
Like we're in their yard, right?
Yeah, and I mean people moving their cows. They're hand cutting
cows.
Rice, having funerals.
We played a hole.
Weddings.
We played a hole where there was a water buffalo on the hole that was mean.
Is this a segue?
Is this a segue? This is a segue. No, this was like most of the water buffaloes are friendly. This water buffalo would charge you, and by the way, the water buffalo was located in Circle 1 at our PDGA tournament this weekend. So tell me the story. Like, what did we do about the water buffalo, Jacob?
Yeah, so we're on hole 13, final round. I think I can speak Khmer.
A very tightly contested match, too.
Yes, it was within one stroke. You might have been tied at that point, or one stroke. It was close.
I was barely hanging in there.
And I'm the nervous TD. I'm videotaping it at the same time, trying to make everything right.
Worried that we're going to be upset over the water buffalo.
Well, I don't want
I think it's the coolest thing ever.
A goring to go down or whatever. And the kids, they're helping. That's one reason too that helps us be here is the kids. Just like they help us find stuff and we help them out. We give them tips and they love it. But so all the kids are sitting to the side. I'm walking up. We threw our drives. I said, okay, we'll deal with it when we get up there. They'll throw their drives and then we'll deal with this cow. And I'm walking up. I'm filming and I attempt to speak Khmer and I said, hey, Khmer, mau joy goodbye. And then Jared, who's another foreigner who speaks really good Khmer, looks at me in shock and goes, Jacob, no, why would you say that? And in English I responded, because he's mad. He's a mad cow. He needs help. He needs a mad buffalo. And he was shocked. Everybody was laughing. I didn't have a clue what I said. I thought I said, hey, help this buffalo. Help with the buffalo, kids. He needs help. And then maybe we finish the hole and we go to the next hole and Jared says, Jacob, why would you tell the kids to
have sex
with the buffalo? And I looked at him and thought, what do you mean? And then it came over me because I know the word joy, which is help, is similar to joy, which is to have sex with. Boom, boom. And so I literally screamed, hey kids, come have sex with this cow. He's angry. He needs help.
The cow's angry. Go have sex with him.
And yeah, so every Cambodian person.
all the Cambodian children that.
Yes, I told the kids to.
Let me go on a limb and I say that at no course in the entire history of the U.S. has the tournament director or course pro told the kids to have sex with a water buffalo because it was angry?
Yeah, it's good reason. It was angry, you know. Just calm it
I
down.
didn't say it wasn't a valid reason. Just because it never happened doesn't mean it was valid. Oh,
Yeah.
this has been one of the most special parts of our trip. I'm going to talk for a minute because our experience, we're having so much fun. We've been in Southeast Asia now for 2 or 3 months now. We're definitely coming back, and we want real experiences. Like we going to Kuala Lumpur is great, and Singapore is so modern, and the food's so good. But we're more interested in this real experience, and you have to get away from the tourists to do that. Now, like you said, there's comforts of being in a town where like there's a grocery store, and if you really feel like pizza, even though you shouldn't eat pizza when you're in Asia, but like if you're tired of spending, all that time on the toilet and you just want some cheese.
Yeah, you need a club sandwich.
Like, yeah, but you have, or if you're a drinker, there's bars, right? Like you can have the amenities there, but even out at the course here, it's a 15-minute drive away. So you are definitely in real Cambodia here. 100%, this is the real deal. And the experience out here, it's been so special because we get to experience. Adriana's got this huge smile on her face right now. We got to experience Cambodia. We got to, like, the neighbors, like, almost in a weird way, I feel like they're the Cambodians because they're living the Cambodia life. I know they're all Cambodians if you live here, but I feel like they're living the Cambodian life. That's their culture. And I've never, Indonesia is the only other place where we've had just this many warm smiles and everybody just genuinely happy to see us, and they're so sweet, and the kids are just awesome. And so if you get a chance, if you're not familiar, Angkor Wat, well, Angkor is actually the general region. Wat is the big,
Yeah, the Angkor Wat complex.
Yeah. It's the largest religious complex on planet Earth. I'm gonna give it just real quick background. Like 1,200 years ago, this was the largest city on Earth. It was way bigger than Paris. It was way bigger than London. It was way better than the Mexico City we think it was back in.
Oh, modern.
Like it was
time,
the biggest. But the interesting thing is that it was lost to the jungle for so long that the reason we didn't learn about it in school isn't because of some American-centric thing. When I was a child, they didn't know the extent of how massive this thing is. They've been uncovering temple, and like it turns out the entire complex is the size of Los Angeles.
Wow.
And 1 million people lived here 1,200 years ago, back when there was like 25,000 people in London or something like that. I mean, it wasn't even close, the Khmer Empire.
Yeah.
Anyways, if you ever see Tomb Raider with Angelina Jolie, you'll see videos of the temples, but just go search ANGKOR, Angkor Wat. It's the most surreal experience ever. If you're in Southeast Asia, it's the number one attraction in all of Cambodia, I'm pretty certain.
Oh,
By a long shot.
I think maybe all of Southeast Asia, the
Okay,
largest
yeah.
single attraction. I
Yeah,
believe
so
is.
it's like it is not, this is not some secret.
And
This
it's
is a-
worth it. It's not. It's
No.
It's you think,
worth it beyond words.
oh, this is going to be amazing, and then you go, and I think for me, it's more. It
exceeds
blows it
that.
out of the water.
It exceeds.
Yeah.
You can't believe how amazing it's unreal. But you can disc golf when you're here, but even better, you could stay on the property here because you'll get exhausted, in Angkor. I mean, it's a lot of work. But you come out here and you just get one of these cabanas. How much do you charge per night? I know the price will probably change during seasonally, but
Yeah, it depends, but just 20 to 25 a night.
a night.
Yeah.
Because that's actually pretty high end for Cambodia, but it's also a very nice. It's a nice, clean, modern room. And then, how much are the meals at the restaurant?
I think our most expensive meal is $5, so it's pretty cheap. Dollar beers.
$1 beers, $5 meals,
drinks.
20. So in other words, it's like there's zero reason not to do this. So if you play disc golf and you're in Cambodia, like it's an absolute must stop. It's a historic course. By the way, it's actually a very good course too. It's not just some gimmicky novelty course because it's in rice paddies. That's cool, but it's a legit good course too. There's good holes, there's interesting holes and out of bounds, and there's water and there's trees but there's also water buffaloes and Cambodian
Crazy
children.
kids and grandmas and fishermen and
Yes.
all kinds of crazy stuff going on.
I could not recommend, like, just like with everything I've ever recommended on my channel, I cannot. This is a 10 out of 10. Like, you come here, like, you will not leave here thinking that was all right. It was fun. Like, you will leave here mesmerized by the experience that you had. Every single one of you has my word. I can't say it strongly enough. This is a very special place if you are a disc golfer to make it in your lifetime. You will not regret it. You and the family, Bon, are awesome. Mostly Bon, you're okay.
Yeah, I'm all right. I agree.
The whole family pick and the kids. So, anyways, I'll stop making the sales pitch. I'm not getting paid to make a sales pitch. This is from the heart.
Yeah.
This has been one of the most special experiences of my life and of my disc golf career. And thank you so much for creating this opportunity for me to have this experience.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. Thank you.
Absolutely. And I appreciate it too, because you do something like this and you're a little bit nuts and you have a lot of doubt sometimes. Different things in life, whether it's monetary or do you want to get up and do this or that, nice. And then somebody saying really nice things, especially from your position and such, to come here alone is a huge compliment, and then just to heap praise and say a bunch of nice things really feels good, and it helps with motivation and,
I'm honest with
belief
everybody.
that this is worthwhile.
I don't say this every single town I go to. I'll say, oh, it was nice, it was awesome, this was fun, I like this, I like this. I've never heaped praise on a location like I just did. But that's because I'm being honest. There's no ulterior motive. This is so special. And Angkor Wat.
Yeah, it's hard to.
You're not just in some village somewhere. You're actually visiting one of the most important UNESCO heritage sites in the world.
I think the only reason it's not in the, I heard there's something like there's the 7 man-made wonders of the world. Angkor Wat's not one of them, because when they made that list,
we didn't know how big
they
it was.
didn't know really anything about it. So, and people said way more amazing than the pyramids, and those are grand and mind-blowing, but people have come here and said there's nothing like it.
You go into temples.
It's crazy.
Here. You go into temples. We stood on the spot where the king of the Khmer Empire stood, overseeing, because the Wat just means temple, Buddhist temple.
Yep.
Well, it was Hindu, and then the Buddhists kind of jumped in and kind of made it their own. But anyways, went back and forth. It's been around for a while. When the Hindus left, the Buddhists occupied it, and they modified it. Usually that's what you do. But the king stood in this spot, overseeing at the main temple, what we walked through where the king walked through the royal entrance up the stairs, and we stood on the very spot where the king overlooked an empire, the largest empire the human race had ever seen. And you get to actually stand on the spot. You're not watching it. Like, you're not looking at it through put 25 cents in and zoom in. Like, you stand there and you look at, sorry, this is going to be it's probably turning into a boring video as I just rave about it, but there's no words to describe what that feels like if you haven't done it. So come here. All right. Now what I hate about it. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm not ready.
No.
All the praise.
I'm totally kidding. No, there's zero that I hate about it. Everything is absolutely perfect. So thanks everybody.
Thanks.